Hello, hello. Are we live? Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Are we live? Anybody there with me? We have a surprise live going on. I will explain you why. Okay, you probably saw the title, but this is incredible. Let's wait for somebody to come. In the meantime, I'm going to pick up the link. Is anybody there? Send me a message if somebody's here. I need to know if you guys can hear me okay. I need to know if the sound is good. I have a very awesome mic right here, but I need you guys to tell me if you can hear me well. Saif, how you doing, my friend? Woohoo! We're kickstarting in a good way. Thank you for being here, Saif. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Hello, Nestor. How are you doing? From Los Angeles. Wow, very good. Amazing. I love the reach of YouTube. Guys, I have I think you guys read on the title of the video, but I have some news for you guys. I want to tell you because as soon as I received this message, I went to check and it was true. So I had to come here and talk to you about this. So nothing better than a live, right? So kind of messed up hair because I was doing my stuff. I'm still on vacation from my classes, so I'm putting things in order. You know what it is like, right? At the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, we tend to organize a lot of things. But I had to stop everything to bring you this news. And as you guys are here, I'm going to respect you and I'm going to tell you right away, Brazil has decided to postpone the requirements to get the visa. So the demand to get the tour visa for Americans, for Australians, and for Canadians has been postponed until the month of April. This is very good news because if you guys follow the channel, I believe you do, you know I was always coming and going back and forth with this idea of this visa. My God, a lot of people writing me, hey, Mark, what's going on? I'm so happy, Samuela. I'm so happy as well because, you guys are the reason okay, this sounds cliche, but it's true. You guys are the reason I make this video. So I root for you guys. I root for Americans. I root for Canadians, for the British. I root for everybody. I like you guys, for the Africans, the Chileans, everybody. So I want you guys to come to Brazil and I want you guys to enjoy the country. I think that's the target of tourism, right? So you guys can come, we can, mix our cultures. So I'm so happy to receive this news. Maybe you can say, okay, how much? Yeah, I know, Saif. I know the British don't need a visa, but I'm telling you, I root for the British, which means I like when you guys come and everything. Uh, all the British are like this. Have you noticed? Because there is a girl I like very much from this community. Her name is Tisha. She always says, "Oh, I have a British passport. I don't have to care about this." So now Saif is saying, "Yeah, but the British don't need a visa. We know that, buddy." So we should get the visa, though, right? No, you don't need to get the visa, Trevor, because they are postponed. If you're traveling before April, you guys don't need it. You can just come. The same thing that was before with Bolsonaro, the president, continues. You can come to Brazil. Oh, very nice. Samuel is coming to Brazil on Monday. You can come to Brazil without worrying about visa. I just feel for my friend. My friend has just oh, by the way, Dave from Tennessee, thank you very much. He was the guy who broke the news in our community. I have a group here on WhatsApp with some people, and he said, guys, Brazil has decided to drop the requirements until April. So I had to run to the newspaper. I'm going to be here reading the newspaper. Oh, Estadão. This is probably the best newspaper in Brazil. It's from São Paulo. Very good newspaper. I subscribe to it. I had to go check. Not that I didn't trust Dave, but I wanted more information. And it's true. It's true. You guys don't need a visa until. I was talking about Tisha. Tisha is here. Hi, Tisha. How are you doing? I was saying that you British guys are, you guys who have British citizenship are very proud. So say, oh, I don't need a visa. So, but yes, guys, if you are coming right now, the reason for this live, I had to stop everything I was doing with all the t-shirts. I was organizing the studio, my finances and everything for the new year because I'm still on vacation. When suddenly a message popped up, it was my friend Dave in the group I have with them. And he said, Brazil has decided to postpone the requirements to for the visas to Americans, Canadians, and the Australians. Until the month of April, you guys don't need to get a visa to come to Brazil. This is fantastic. I'm so happy for you guys because it was a mess. I want to hear from you guys because I don't want to just talk and talk. I want to hear from you guys. Have you been through the process so far? Have you tried to get any visa? I want to know. I want you guys to share the experience with me. Were you facing trouble? Because I was receiving a lot of messages, guys. I received one this morning. The guy saying that the company that Brazil decided to choose to take care of the visas is a company that has a lot of complaints on them. A lot of complaints on them. So they are horrible, according to some of the subscribers to the channel. So they asked me, Mark, why is Brazil relying on such a company? I think it's RVF. Can you help me, guys? RVF is the name of the company. Or I think it's VFS, if I'm not mistaken. They are responsible for the portal, for the website. So a lot of people were having trouble with the site, with other requirements from the site. So it was crazy. It was crazy. Some people even got to tell me they were not coming anymore. They had given up on the process because of the headaches. So I felt really bad and sorry because I think it's horrible for you to change plans, because of that. But I want to know from you guys, have you had any problems with the process so far? So I heard they wanted to share a screenshot of your bank account of 2000 USD. Yes, Nestor. I don't know if this is the VFS thing or if it's the Brazilian thing. Yeah, proof of $2,000 income. I got you, Nestor. I think you're right. I don't know. I don't know if it's a requirement from the government because I tried to explain to some Americans, even close friends. I got a lot of friends from the United States, right? And I was trying to explain to them that it's reciprocity in this case, I guess, because when Brazilians try to go to the US on the legal thing, okay, like going to the consulate, getting the visa, sometimes, guys, we're talking about people with a lot of money. Maybe you don't know this, but there are a lot of rich people in Brazil because you just buy the idea that it's a poor country. This is not a poor country, but this is a topic for another video. This is not a poor country. It's just very ill distributed. The money is very ill distributed, okay? Because there are a lot of rich people, especially in São Paulo, where I live. So even the business people with hundreds of branches across the country, they have trouble sometimes to get the visa. So they go through a lot of process. Some people work for big companies like Itaú Bank, which is the biggest bank in Brazil. And when they go for the visa, they have to prove income. They have to prove sometimes 3 to 6 months of income, bank balances, investment, residency. So property, if they have property, they need to show the American consulate. And I'm not judging saying if this is right or wrong. I'm just saying Brazilians go through all this. And at the end of the day, it's not a guarantee of getting the visa. I know a lot of people who did all these things that I'm telling you, and they had the visa turned out with a solid job with a wife, with kids, and all the proof they have been turned down. So I don't think this is a problem with the VFS, okay? Man, just delay this until I agree with you, man. Ken Quinta, I agree with you, man. If I were the government, I would delay timelessly, just until they have everything figured out, until they prepare everything, because giving you guys trouble is not the purpose. The purpose is not giving you guys trouble. The purpose is acting accordingly, okay? International relations, guys, period. Acting accordingly. But do that correctly, because the Brazilians also get visas from the United States, and it's a very clean process. A lot of requirements, but a very clean process. So as long as we cannot offer the same quality in the process, bring this to a halt. Stop this idea of requirements. That's my opinion, and let things go, man. When things are ready, you go back with the requirements. Thank you. Maybe they will push it back into October, because I still, yes, people were saying try Brazilian conciliate, but I think consulate don't answer the phone. Oh yes, that's another problem. But okay, guys, let's go. I wanna share with you the real thing. I don't want this to be a rumor, so I'm gonna prove it. Take a look. I'm gonna translate from the Portuguese language, so be patient with me. Brasil prorroga para abril prazo de exigência de visto para turistas de Estados Unidos, Canadá e Austrália. Nossa, minha língua soa muito bonita. My language sounds really beautiful. By the way, I'm a Portuguese teacher. If you want to learn, send me a direct message on Instagram. Okay, after the advertisement, let me translate. Brazil decides to postpone to April the deadline of the demand for the visa for the tourists of the United States, Canada, and Australia. So let's go. I'm going to go straight to the news. The federal government decided to postpone one more time. Remember, guys, the first demand was October, and then it was delayed to January 10th, and now it's been delayed to April. The deadline for the requirement of the visas for tourists with passports from the United States, Canada, and Australia who are interested in visiting Brazil. The initial request date was established for January 10th, next Wednesday, but it has been delayed for April 10th. Okay? April 10th. The initiative had been target to many criticisms because it created more barriers for the entrance of foreigner visitors of those nationalities, and made it difficult for you to increase tourism. That's what the news says. I hate translating, but let's go. So the delay has been officialized by a decree number 11,875, signed by the President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and published in extraordinary issue of Diário Oficial da União. There is a newspaper in Brazil called the Diário Oficial da União. Diário Oficial is a newspaper, a legal newspaper. Whatever is decided in Brasilia, whatever measures are taken, they publish this and make it official. So lawyers follow this. Many people that work with legal things, they follow this newspaper. So it has been published today that it's official. The delay to April 10th. Okay. So in a note, the Ministry of Tourism claims that the extension of the deadline was defined to stop the implementation of a fee in the period of high season for tourism. So the intention is to guarantee a secure or a safe introduction for the measure without consequences for the sector of tourism. The Minister of Tourism, Celso Sabino, says that the decision to delay the deadline for 3 months came from the president himself. The delay of the charge, according to Sabino, uh, will be necessary to adequate the system. Yes, guys, can you see? To the issuing of e-visas, the nightmares for you guys. Isn't that right? Please send me a message here confirming that I'm right. You guys were having big trouble with the e-visa, so they want to adequate the system because the system received a lot of criticism. I'm gonna take a break on the news here, and I want to read your comments. You guys are important, so let's go. Okay, I wish the US just dropped the visa requirements already. EU dropped it for Brazil. Your information is not so accurate, Khan. Let me explain for you. I traveled to Europe in 2009. I went to Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, and England. I didn't need visas for any of those countries, not at all. I just went there, and they look at me. They said, "Where are you going? How much money do you got? Where are you staying?" And I showed everything. They checked my English. Say, "Oh, welcome to my country," basically. But 2 years ago, I guess, or maybe last year, there was a piece of news that came out in the newspaper saying that from one certain point on, I believe it's 2024, Brazilians will be required to get a visa to go to Europe. I don't know if it's still, if it has already been implemented. If anyone here knows what I'm talking about, help us with information. And that includes Americans. I think Americans will also need a visa to go into Europe right now. I think the justification they gave is we want to stop immigration from happening, in the sense of people going without a job and staying and prolonging their visa. So that's the reason. Okay. Believing the United States will drop the visa for Brazilians is unreal. With all due respect, I think your opinion is important. Keep writing. But I don't believe this. And if you ask me, I don't think the United States would do that. And they should do that. I don't think the US should completely drop the visas for Brazilians. And I say that on running the risk of being bashed by my own counterparts, the other Brazilians, but it's true. If you ask Brazilians, where would you go if you could? They would say USA. And a lot of people have no conditions to have a life in the US, and they would just go. So I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think it will ever happen. When Obama was the president, this is one interesting fact. When Obama was the president, Brazil was skyrocketing. We had just created BRICS. We were doing business with China and growing and growing, and the real estate market was booming. And Brazilians were returning to Brazil. Believe me, Brazilians who lived in the US were returning to Brazil because the economy was booming. I'm talking about the first or second mandate of President Lula, this one that is here again. Because in Brazil, you stay 8 years and then you get out. You can come back, but that's what he did. But the first or second mandate, Brazil was booming. And Brazilians were returning from the United States. So Obama saw that. It was 2008, 2009. The United States was in a crisis. You remember Obama rescuing banks? Brazil was going up, right? And Obama came, visited Brazil, I guess, said Lula was the guy. There is a video to prove, oh, you're the guy. This is the man. And they saw that Brazilians were leaving $9 billion in the United States in tourism. I'm going to repeat, $9 billion in the United States. Brazilians were traveling to the US and consuming. They left $9 billion in the United States. You can check this information. You don't have to believe me. And then Obama came to Sao Paulo and he said, okay, I'm going to open new consulates. So he opened 2 or 3 offices more to accommodates all the Brazilians going to the US, just so you know. And he said, look, we need a margin of 3% denial. If you have a margin of 3% denial of American visas, you are willing to be visa-free. But Brazil's number is bigger than that. More than 3% of Brazilians get rejected. So that's not a good idea. When Brazil has an economy that is sustainable, strong, jobs, people make money, people have good education, then I think the United States will consider opening. Until this happens, forget it. I will see Peter Pan flying over my house, but I'm not going to see that happening. But let me come back here. I talk too much. Okay, so Tio Yamaha. VFS Global cost me $160 for 2 applications, just asking to re-upload the same documents. We must start requesting refunds immediately. Yes, Theo, do that. I have a friend with the same problem. I'm a Brazilian, but my fiance is American and we applied twice. I have a friend with the same problem, brother. Do it. Request for the refund. We had an appointment with the NY consulate next week to do it in person for another. Jesus Christ. I feel you. Yeah, horrible. That's why they needed to stop this. Jeff Johns, good news. Boa noite. Boa noite, Jeff. I thought you were the guy of DC or Marvel. No, DC, right? Jeff, but the other guy is Jeff Jones. Sorry, I'm a nerd. My wife and I, American, are buying an apartment this week. Will I still need a visa once I own a property with my Brazilian wife? Charles, I need to know how much you are investing. I'm sorry to ask you that, but for me to answer your question, instead of you telling me, let me tell you. If your property costs 1 million reais in the southeast of Brazil, which includes the most famous states, São Paulo, Rio, Minas Gerais, and Espírito Santo. But I think these three, Minas, São Paulo, and Rio. Basically São Paulo and Rio, but it's true. If you invest in the south as well, which is Paraná, Santa Catarina, Rio Grande do Sul, if you invest in these areas, 1 million reais in investment, $200,000 approximately. If you buy in the northeast, it has to be 800,000 reais. If you do that, then you are entitled to go for a residency visa. You can do that, and they give you for a year, I guess, and renewable for a year, and then a year until you get this permanently. But if your investment is less than, I'm telling you this because I sell apartments. Okay, by the way, you should have bought with me. I sell apartments here to foreigners, and if you invest less than that, $50,000, $100,000, forget it. You have to get the visa to come. Yes, it's true. Since Brexit, as I've said, no, you are talking about ETA for EU. I'm talking about ETA for EU. Now, Brazilians will be required, I guess, man. It's not a visa. Yeah, so it's not a visa for the European continent. Are you sure? I don't blame Europe or Brazil for requiring Americans to have a visa. Charles is saying, lots of Americans, riffraff, and thugs are going abroad. Having money doesn't make a difference. Yes. It's a long discussion, Charles. I think you're right, but it's a long discussion. Some people will say that, some people will say otherwise. But we can talk about this one day. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't see that happening. Maybe my daughter won't see that. My daughter is just 8 years old. She probably won't see that in her lifetime. I don't know. Just being realistic. I got the visa already, so it won't be needed for January trip. Jeff, I'm sorry they have done that to you. Now it won't be necessary. But okay, at least you have are you American, Canadian, Australian? Because it's okay, you got the visa, so you spared yourself from headaches later. Okay, starting by April they will require again, so maybe. Or maybe not. So stay with the visa. Buying Floripa, very nice, man. No, not quite 1 million. Yeah, it had to be 1 million, Charles. I have made a video about this, by the way. It's the Brazilian law. If you invest $1 million reais, you can request a visa, a permanent visa, or temporary visa, not permanent, temporary visa. that becomes permanent later on. It got postponed again. Yes, Charles Jones. Yeah, might as well talk to Biden to get these visas lifted so we can go there. Y'all can come here. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, Jeff, thanks. You're American. Yeah, Charles Jones. It's not gonna happen. I was talking about that a few minutes ago. I'm gonna go back to the news. Okay, if you don't mind, please keep writing. I like the interaction with you guys. So where did I stop? I was saying. Oh, I have to tell the guys that I am already a subscriber to the newspaper. 1 second, guys. 1 second. You know that internet is like this, right? You just read one piece of news and then you're done. Okay, good. Good. I'm logged again. So I was saying, okay, it came from the president himself. Remember, I think that was the last thing I said. Yes. So the postponing of the demand of the requirement, according to Sabino. Oh yes, no, I said this will be necessary to adequate the system to the issuing of e-visas. Okay. So the government, by the decision of the President Lula himself, decided to postpone the demand of these visas until the next 10th of April. Then we're gonna have 3 more months so that we can deliver a system that works. If you follow my channel, you know what I'm talking about. People always were writing and saying, Mark, what's going on with this crap? And I was always answering, guys, I don't know. I think the company is not good. So look, we were going to have 3 more months to adequate and deliver a system that works in a very fast, efficient fashion, right? For the issuing of the visa, says the minister in a video published in his social media. The document will be required for the citizens of 3 countries in the harbors, airports, and the terrestrial borders, right? The land borders of Brazil. The visa will be delivered in the e-format, and it will cost $80.90, which makes approximately 400 reais. And the time of the visa, the validity, is this a good word in English? The validity will be of 10 years for the Americans, 5 years for the Canadians, and 5 years for the Australians. The demand of the visas for the tourists of those countries is a requirement of the current government that bases himself on the reciprocity policy as a diplomatic mechanism with all the nations. So for you to go into the United States, Canada, and Australia, Brazilians are demanded a visa. In 2019, the country stopped requiring the document for American, Canadian, and Australian tourists, as well as the Japanese. In the Bolsonaro mandate, Jair Bolsonaro mandate, the former president, the main claim that the president had, the former president, was to facilitate the entry of visitors of those nationalities and to strengthen tourism. The expectation traced at the time by the Ministry of Tourism was to have an increase of from 6.7 million to 12 million visits a year until the year 2022. And the total impact would be of $1 billion in the Brazilian economy. The measure, however, suffered the impacts of the pandemic of the COVID-19 that stopped tourism internationally for at least 2 years. In the previous government, the demand for the visas to Americans, Canadians, Australians, and Japanese was dropped. The measure was given for free without reciprocity. Brazilians continued having to go for the visa to travel to those countries, said the Minister of International Relations, Mauro Vieira, in last September or September last year. In the case of Japan, Brazil had an agreement with the Asian country last May, in May of 2023, to establish the reciprocal dropping of the requirements for the visas in cases of visitors staying up until 90 days. The dropping started to take place in September last year. Again, if you follow the channel, you know this. I made an extraordinary video saying Japan now, or the Japanese don't have to have a visa to come to Brazil because Lula rushed to Japan and had an agreement with the Japanese, and they are free to go here, and Brazilians are free to go there. So we have crossed Japan out of the list. Okay, I'm gonna read your comments. Let's go. After taxes will be over 1 million. Yes, but Charles is talking about the investment for the apartment, but I don't think the taxes are included. I think it's the price of the. But you check this, or I can check this. Send me a direct message on Instagram, Brazil.unsubtitled. I will check that for you. It's okay. I can do that. I don't remember if with the taxes is counted. I think it's the price of the property. Okay, the property has to be, for example, in a beach apartment, a million reais, $200,000. Boom, you get the visa, something like this. Is it difficult for foreigners to finance in Brazil? Jeff is talking about property. Foreigners cannot finance in Brazil. If you're talking about banks, Jeff, forget this. However, I work with a big company in Brazil, a Jewish construction company, a branch of a much bigger company that has open capital in the stock market, and they have a contract with the foreigners, and you guys pay directly to the construction company with no interest. They give you the price and they divide you in 24, 36 installments. As long as the building is being constructed, you can pay your installments. The moment they deliver the key, you have to have paid off everything. So, want to know more? Send me a direct message on my. I point here, but it's not here because it's a live. Send me a direct message on Instagram, Brazil.unsubtitled. We can talk about this and I can explain everything about how to buy a property in Brazil and divide. Okay. Tisha says, in regards to buying property in São Paulo, does it have to be one property at 1 million plus, or can be a combination of properties for 1 million plus? Very good question, Tisha. This woman is blessed. She's a member of the channel. Amazing. Thank you so much. Very smart question. It doesn't have to be one property, 1 million. It has to be many properties, but your final investment has to total 1 million. So you can buy 2 or 3 studios in one apartment, and they total 1 million reais. You are entitled to go and say, okay, now I want a resident visa because I have properties in Brazil. I want to go and stay there whenever I want to go. My vacation, Carnival, I want to see the floats and everything. They will give you the visa for, if I'm not mistaken, for 12 months. But they are good people. You can come back and then they renew for 12 months and they renew again. Why do they give you for 12 months only? Because they want to see if you are legit, if you're not only faking a purchase. So if you're still with the property, if you're using it, it doesn't matter if you rent, it's okay. They will renew. If they renew the 3rd time, you get a permanent one. Okay. He has great videos about how to buy in Brazil, including São Paulo. Thank you, Charles, man. Yes. My idea is for next year, I want to expand. Okay. I want to expand the possibility. I want to offer you properties in Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, Fortaleza, Ceará. I'm saying the capitals and then the states first, okay, if you don't know. Recife, Pernambuco, São Paulo, Rio, Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, wherever you want to buy. Floripa, Santa Catarina, Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul. Imagine living close to Uruguay, Argentina. That would be nice, right? So, help the channel, guys. If you want to see that happening, if you want to see Mark Saints traveling a lot, going to the beach on Speedo. No, I'm kidding. An elephant Speedo, can you imagine? Or the one from Borá, that would be ridiculous. But anyways, consider supporting the channel. But if you can't, just click on like, spread the content. So I wanted to come here. I'm so excited. I'm in cloud nine. I wanted to come here. We have 23 people live with me here. This is amazing. Breaking records today. Just to say you are free to come to Brazil. Oh my God, I have a trip in February. Do I need it? No. I have a trip in March. No. I'm going to arrive on April 9th. Do I have to get the visa? No. You need the visa from April 10th on. If you arrive here at the International Airport of Guarulhos, GRU Airport, GRU Airport in São Paulo, on the 10th, you need a visa. If you arrive on the 9th, you don't need a visa. Period. It's that simple. Okay? But guys, I'm praying. God listens to my prayers very much. I have to say that. He's very gentle. I don't deserve it. But I'm praying so you guys have the free visas to keep coming. Because Americans are good people. Canadians are good people. The Australians are good people. So I root for you guys. I'm here rooting that the government will say, hey, come on, no. Let's postpone, drop it for another year or two. And then things get back. At least you have an acceptable process. That's what I desire for you. Okay? I desire that for you. I desire you to be treated accordingly. Treated accordingly because you guys are good people. So you have to be treated well. Not, oh my God, what should I do now? Oh, the system is bugging. Oh my God, it froze again. Jesus, I don't want this for you. I receive a lot of desperate messages on the backstage, guys. You should know that. And I keep constantly saying, oh, relax, everything's gonna be all right. The other day, believe me, I said to the guy, I think they will postpone again. But I just said it, and bingo. I'm so happy when I heard that because I was just reassuring the guy. That's what I was doing. Hugh Richardson said, agreed, he has awesome videos on a range of topics. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Sometimes I release videos like the one I released this morning about Alzheimer's, a situation with my father. Thank you very much for all the return I have received. I didn't want to expose my life like this, but I wanted to, I wanted to show the reality of things. And my point there, bring awareness. That's what I was trying to remember. I wanted to bring awareness to the illness, to the disease. And I wanted to show, even though we have been facing this, we live in Brazil. Thank God. Because my father and my mother doesn't have Alzheimer's. Up until now, we haven't had any news about this. But thank God they have access to the best medicine in the continent. And the Caribbean included. There have been some surveys about this. So thank God they have access to all this and for free. I told you the box of medications costs $900. We don't pay anything. So, okay, guys, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I'm not gonna prolong here. I want to know if you guys have any questions of any kind that I could answer. But I came here because I wanted to share that with you. I thought of turning on the camera and started recording, but then I was gonna have to go to the editing, put the pieces together, edit, put intro, thumbnail. It would take me some time. So no, I said no, the guys need to know now. So I'm gonna repeat, if you have just arrived, until April 10th of this year, Americans, Canadians, and Australians can come to Brazil without the demand of a visa, a tour visa. You don't need it. You don't need it. Again, yes, if you are just arriving, I have just read the news I'm going to repeat myself. It's very important because I want you guys to feel confident. I got the news. I'm going to go again. Look at the headline. Ó, Brasil prorroga para abril prazo de exigência de visto para turistas de Estados Unidos. EUA é Estados Unidos da América, USA, Canadá e Austrália. And the date, ó, it's written here, atualização, this line here, ó, this one. Atualização é 4/1, 04/01/2024. It just came out, so you guys do not need to get a visa. If you were applying, forget it, drop it. You don't need to get a visa to come to Brazil. You can just get on the plane, smile a lot, arrive in Rio, arrive in Curitiba, arrive in São Paulo, and enjoy your trip. Thank you very much for all the support. Charles Beachboard says, obrigado, amigo. Keep up your good works. All the best to your father. God bless. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for all the Americans, all the Canadians, all the Australians for the patience. Don't give up on Brazil. You're going to have the time of your lives. If you follow me on Instagram, I try to show this a lot. Just to show the girl that had never left Britain. She took the plane, came to Brazil. Her intent was to travel around the continent. She stopped on the first destination. Arrived in Brazil, said, I'm not leaving this place anymore. And she's teaching English here today. So, and now she's dating a Brazilian. So I want you guys to have the time of your lives. Okay, don't give up on Brazil. And now you have one more chance not to give up on Brazil. Come to Brazil. You're not going to be required a visa until the 10th of April. Which I believe will be postponed again. Let's cross our fingers and let's send the positive vibes because I think it's going to be canceled again. All right? Do you guys have any other questions I could help you with? Because my pizza is waiting for me. I'm still on vacation, so if you excuse me, I'm leaving. So this is your moment. Ask me anything. I'm going to give you 1 minute and then I'm leaving. So go ahead. If you can ask me about the Brazilian Portuguese course, Brazilian culture. Hey, Mark, what is feijoada? I will answer, no problem. You can ask me about the property. You can ask me about, I was going to say hospitals, but I don't want to talk about hospitals anymore. It's terrible. Brazil is one of the best countries I've ever been to, the best people. Thank you, Hugh. Hugh is Australian, is it right? Am I correct? I think you are Australian, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm suspicious to say. We have a lot of maladies. The maladies would be French illnesses. No. We have a lot of problems. Yes, Hugh, thank you. You are Australian, okay. We have a lot of problems in this country, but everywhere, guys. The US has a lot of problems. Britain has a lot of problems. I had a friend who was a police officer in Manchester, so I heard some stories, you know. So the problems are in different levels, but problems exist. I think we have to focus on the good things because we have a lot of people in Brazil who do not deserve to be labeled. A lot of good ladies, good, white-haired ladies here that are very nice, that they cook things for the neighbors. I meet a lot of people every day. In Brazil, let me tell you something. We make friends on a regular basis. We talk to the Uber driver, he becomes your friend. We talk to the neighbor, he becomes your friend. The other day, a woman walked on our sidewalk and she saw a sign on my door because my wife is a micropigmentation specialist. She makes the eyebrows and she was interested and she started talking to me and all of a sudden she was inviting us for a coffee in her house. This is Brazil. We have a lot of good people. I think this is one of the reasons the foreigners fall in love, because I have heard in specific countries and cities, I don't want to mention, you say good morning and people say good morning, why? And they call you names. So Brazil don't have this. Is the 1 million plus for residency just for new properties or does it involve apartments or houses that have already been built? Very good question here. Whatever your investment in a property is, if you buy a piece of land with no house, a place that you still need to go there and cut the grass, doesn't matter. Is it a million reais invested? Converted, right? Like 200,000 USD, you are entitled. It doesn't matter if it's old, it doesn't matter if it's new, especially because people who want to buy in Rio, they have a lot of old properties, right, in Rio. Because Rio, remember, Rio was the capital of our country. Very proud of it. Rio was the capital of Brazil for many years during the Empire of Brazil, when the Portuguese transferred their power to Brazil. We became the metropole. From colony, we became the metropole. Rio was the capital. So there are still many old buildings in good state of conservation. They're just shabby, but you can go there and you can have an apartment there. So it doesn't matter if this is what you're buying. The government doesn't want to know. Is it a million reais invested? Then you're entitled. Okay? Any other question, guys? I just want to know how much land I can acquire to build my dream home on. You mean the size? I don't think there is a restriction for sizes. I'm gonna start looking for blueprints soon. If you're talking about sizes of land, there is no restriction. I studied that a lot to make that video. 10 acres. Okay. There is no restriction, Charles, man. No problem. I studied that a lot, and I went directly to the source, right? I always like to check with what all lawyers are saying, but I also go for the government. I go to the official websites, and they say the only restriction is foreigners buying land that are farming land, so land that are strategic for the national. What is the name we give in English or Portuguese, for that matter? Land that belongs to the Brazilian strategies, like more commerce, more exporting, more farmland, more cattle, more vegetables. So this kind of land you cannot buy if the land is too big. Oh yes, I think the restriction would be if you get huge pieces of farmland that are intended to be used for the national production, then you have a problem. And depending on some areas of the coast, you need to check, because sometimes you need the permission from the Navy, the Brazilian Navy, to build and to buy pretty close to the beaches. Okay? Speaking of which, I saw your latest video, great video. Would like to see more interviews with gringos. Shout out to Neo Sanjing. Oh, thank you so much. Guys, you have no idea how many messages I received from subscribers. I was even impressed. I said, people are really interested in learning about me, It flattered me. Because they said, oh, no, I want to know where you learned English. I want to know your background. Please make a video about it. I thought of sitting like this and talking, but I said nothing better than Neo Sanjing, a guy I've known for almost 4 years now, to interview me. It was the best decision I have made. The video has received a lot of good, positive reviews. The views are good because I have a small channel, so it passed to 500 views in less than 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Just a few videos have been able to do that on my channel. I have videos that in 12 hours reached 1,000 views, which for me is a lot. But I was impressed with the views of that interview, and everybody watching up until the end, learning about my life, about my dreams, about my daughter. I made it very personal. You saw a lot of videos that Manu is learning English at a very early age, just to prove that she didn't learn Portuguese first. She learned English first. That's why she speaks English so well. But thank you so much for all of you who took your time to watch 40 minutes of that interview. almost 50, I guess. Clicking on the like button, leaving a review. I just want to say, guys, it sounds cliche, but I have to. If you support the channel, don't forget to leave a comment, even if you say good, nice, because it gives relevance for the channel. And it gives me conditions to produce more. Because if I get relevant, if I get more views, I get more money. Now I'm paid, thank God. If I get more money, I get more motivated. I just don't work for that, but I get more motivated to come here. One day I can even maybe decide to do that full time and run some business apart. But the little you can do, please do. Click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a message, leave a comment. It's gonna help me a lot. Okay. Uh, I want to have a small garden for my organic vegetables. Very good decision, Charles. Very good decision. I'd like to stop buying from supermarkets, man. Gonna build my place, my own gym pool, and a recording studio. Very nice. Probably in Rio, no, Charles, because you like Rio a lot. You motivated me to move to Brazil. Big data. That's very good, man. Do it. Do it. You're not gonna regret. Brazil is, oh my God. Guys, if you are in Dow, take a trip to Brazil. Take a trip. My dream is to have enough members and money to start traveling. Imagine one day in Natal, the other day in Maranhão, Lençóis Maranhenses. If you guys haven't heard about this place, research. Paradise on earth. Imagine. Brazil has a lot of wonderful places. Yeah, I saw that you don't realize it, or maybe you did and did it on purpose, but you've set Manu up for a great life ahead with her ability to comprehend languages to become a polyglot. I agree, Charles. Actually, I did that on purpose, man. When my wife got pregnant, I said, okay, I don't have money. I wish I had a lot of money to give her some future. But then I said, I'm going to give her culture. Because when I was in London, I realized that she needs to learn English to be part of everything here. And that's the best thing I did. The best. There is no day I don't feel proud of myself because of that. Because I talk to her in English 24 hours a day. If she comes in here right now, she's going to give me news in English. So yes, I did that on purpose. If I have another kid, I'm going to do the same. All my kids will speak English as a requirement from the belly, right? I'm in Brazil, São Paulo now. Oh, very nice. Enjoy your stay. It's raining today. I think you see that, but the other days were good, right? You'll help her out with the degenerative diseases in the future. I agree, man. Linguistics is the mortal enemy of brain diseases. Charles, I have a father with Alzheimer's, guys. I'm studying every day what to do, not to have the same fate. I decided to get back to my French learnings this year. I'm gonna become fluent in French using my method, a method that I created to teach English and Brazilian Portuguese. You will see in 6 months I'll be fluent in French or less. Let's see. Okay, best decision ever. Very good, big data. Very happy for you, man. I do love Rio, but I also like São Paulo. The vibe of the city reminds me of New York, the size, and Minneapolis, the vibe of the people. I want to explore as much of Brazil as God allows me to. Yes, very good. I really praise Jonathan and Neil. Charles knows these guys because they have decided to come to São Paulo and to stay here a month and fly to Salvador, Bahia, stay another month and fly to Rio, stay a month or two there. But while they are in Rio, they are going to go to other places, they said. So that's outstanding. That's absolutely outstanding. When you are in Brazil, don't go mainstream. Don't go just to the beaten path, just Rio, São Paulo. Go to these places, but also go to Santa Catarina. Amazing. Amazing location. Go to Minas Gerais. My recommendation of the life, the city of Ouro Preto. If you like history, if you like good food, go to Ouro Preto on the outskirts of Belo Horizonte, the capital of Minas Gerais. So if you have a map there, check it out. Ouro Preto, or the black gold. Ouro, new word Preto. Ouro Preto. Check this city, it's amazing. After Portuguese, I'll be refreshing my Spanish and French. Took it in high school, but forgotten it. After that, I'm going to learn German. Oh, I'm crazy about learning German, man. I went to Germany. It's so strong. I wanted to learn that language. And Japanese. Oh, I love Japanese as well. I already bought a Japanese course. My wife became fluent. She learned the basics of Japanese by herself during the pandemic. She's really smart. It was hard to choose between Floripa and Balneário Camboriú. Charles, which one did you pick? Floripa? Balneário Camboriú is the new hotspot nowadays in Brazil, in Santa Catarina. They call that the Brazilian Dubai. The Brazilian Dubai, they call it. Neymar, the soccer player, I think you guys know, has an apartment in Balneário Camboriú. So the price of the real estate is skyrocketing. Unbelievable. Every time he goes, he has parties and lots of girls and lots of famous people go there to have fun. They say the beach is pretty cold though, because the skyscrapers, they block the sunlight in a certain period of the day. So that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, okay? Oh, and Italian too. I've been to Italy 4 times. It's a language I've always wanted to learn. So I'm going to. Very nice, man. Listen, once you learn one Latin language, the other Latin languages become easy because they are very similar. Because we say, for example, let me see a word here. We say pai in Portuguese, which is father. We say padre, which is in Spanish. We say père, which is in French. In Italian, I don't know much, but it's pretty similar. If you get the days of the week, the Portuguese language is the only one that is different, but there is a reason for that. The days of the week, for example, Monday is lunes, and then you get French, lunes in Spanish, and then you get French, it's lundi, and then martes is Tuesday in Spanish, and then mardi is in French. And then you have miércoles in Spanish for Wednesday, and then you have mercredi in French. So they are very similar. And in Italian, it's also very similar. Just don't remember. Not true, Charles is saying. What is not true, Charles? That it's cold, the beaches. They greatly expanded the beach now not so shaded, so the water is not cold. Just spent Christmas and New Year. Wonderful. Thanks for the message. I don't know because it's I've never been there, but a lot of people told me the beach was cold. Wow, Joe kickstarted the super chats here, the messages that are paid. Thank you so much. You send $1.99. You're gonna go to history. Okay, to the core of history as the first guy on this channel to have sent a paid chat message. So I'm going to applaud you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You will never be forgotten by this guy and by this channel as the first guy. I'm not forcing anybody to send me this, but thank you so much for the initiative. It means a lot, okay? Okay, so Charles Jones, he can, but I feel like my Brazilian Portuguese is dominating my Espanol. That's normal, Charles. Learn Brazilian Portuguese first, that you have already started. Finish Brazilian Portuguese, and then you go to Spanish, so that you don't get confused, okay? Or you can study them simultaneously, but if you are in a hurry, of course. But if you're not, study one, and then you study the other, Okay, at least to get the basis of Portuguese very well established, and then you go to Spanish. The city government is great. Yes, yes. Santa Catarina is another level. They have problems as well, okay, as any other place in Brazil. But they're great. Their administration, the management. I'm gonna make a lot of videos there one day. I'm pretty sure. Do you have any other questions, guys, I could help you with? If not, I'm leaving. I'm gonna let you guys relax. Remember, whatever you need. What day in April? April 10th. They will start again, Rocky. But we were saying here prior to your arrival that they might cancel again, postpone again. I don't know. They need to have the system working well to start requesting. So Charles John says, ironically, I did, but I've been studying Spanish off and on since the 6th grade. I can still read, write, and speak it, but Portuguese has taken over. Ironically, Portuguese was the first language. Oh man, I'm suspicious to say. I speak Spanish, guys. I'm fluent in Spanish. I took, I think, 2 years of class. I learned very much. I went to Chile with my family. I have a video. I was the one communicating with everybody, even though they spoke Portuguese, because Brazilians take over the country. It's incredible. So they are prepared to receive Brazilians, and they love Brazilians. This is another thing I was very happy. So the Chileans wanted to speak Portuguese with me, and I spoke Spanish with them. But I think Portuguese is more beautiful. I know I'm Brazilian, but Portuguese is more beautiful. Boa noite, Mark. Have a great night. Bye-bye, Tisha. Can you talk about residency? Jojo, what exactly do you want to know about residency? Ask me and I will answer for sure. Is it true that living in apartments is safer than living in houses in Brazil? I don't know. What kind of safety are you talking about? Security? Are you talking about criminality? Where? What cities? Be specific, please. How to apply and how many types of residency? Oh man, I think we have a visa, a work visa. We have a visa for when you have a son in Brazil. We have a visa for investment. If you buy a property and you invest up to R1 million, you can get a temporary visa, residency visa, that is renewable every 12 months until it becomes permanent. So it's R1 million in the southeast and the south of Brazil, basically, and the north and the northeast, it's 800,000. Okay, if you have a kid with a Brazilian woman or a man, then you can require a condition called family bond, something like this. I don't remember, but I have videos about this. You can check there. And then you can require this, and they will give you a permanent visa for you to keep coming all the time. You know, if you are married to a Brazilian citizen, you can also request this. I have a video about marriage, about getting married to Brazilians. Check all the conditions there. What else? Okay, let's talk about that idea of living in apartments and living in houses. Big cities like São Paulo, São Paulo has 12, almost 13 million people. There are crazy guys who will try to enter your house. That happens in the United States, guys. I think you know that, just as an effect of comparison. If you don't lock your door, you have people trying to break it open. So in Brazil, this happens as well, but it's not all the time, okay? Depending on the region. So what you gotta do, you gotta search which regions this would happen more often. I live in a house. I don't have problems. And I live right in the south of the city, which is about 10 or 15 minutes away by car from Avenida Paulista Avenue, which is the core of the city. Don't have any problems. No, I've been here for almost 4 years. Nobody has ever tried to jump into my house, and I want to keep things like that. Okay. Of course, the advantage of living in an apartment is the fact that you can travel. And when I lived in an apartment, I loved this. You're not in the house, you have a gatekeeper to receive your products. So I buy things a lot through the internet. When they send to my house, I gotta be here because if I'm not here, the guy's gonna come back. So it's a lot of headaches. I don't have a mother closer to me, so this is an advantage. And the fact that you can stay 3 months in Rio and come back to São Paulo, your apartment is there locked up. Nobody touched anything because buildings are safer, that's for sure. That's for sure. This is one of the advantages, but not because somebody's going to jump here when you are here with your family, you know. Mark, muito obrigado de novo por tudo que você faz. Feliz ano novo para você, família. Feliz ano novo, Charles. Parabéns pelo português. Tá muito bom, cara. Parabéns. My pleasure, Jojo. Thank you for the super chat. The first in history of this channel. I hope it's the first of many. It's a pleasure to be here, guys. Be patient with me as well. I need your patience. Sometimes I can make a video, sometimes I can't. But now with a GoPro, my friend Neo brought for me from the United States, the channel paid for this, thank God. I am producing much more. I produced a video yesterday, the day before, tomorrow. I will produce another video. So you guys will have a lot of content on the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, do that. Subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button to receive notifications. And I need your help to leave comments, to click on the like button. Okay? I'm done. Thank you so much. Congratulations, guys, from the United States, Canada, and Australia. Until April 10th, you don't need a visa. I'm repeating myself again. The government has established that until April 10th, they have delayed that again. You guys don't need a visa. If you travel until April 9th, you don't need a visa. You just need after the 10th, starting by the 10th. Maybe they will postpone again because they are having trouble with VFS. I think this is the name of the company. They're having trouble with these guys. They're having trouble with the platform. They're having trouble. They're receiving tons of complaints. So until they get everything sorted out, they are putting off the requirements. God bless you all. Take advantage of this. Come to Brazil. Enjoy your time. Stay 2-3 months. Invest in Brazil. Because remember, $1, 5 reais. This is your moment to spend money here. All right? Can you imagine? You go to a restaurant and you have to pay 100 reais, but at the end you're paying $20 for the bill. Come to Brazil. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris, the Nomad. You do great work, oh, guys. Thank you so much. You make me happy. I love quatro queijos. Go eat your pizza. Thank you, Jeff. One day I'd like to offer this for you guys. Maybe we could have a round table in a club with all the subscribers that come to Brazil. Think about it. Send me messages. Do you think it's a good idea? Leave a message here. We could settle a Brazil Unsubtitled event once a year, summit, so I can get to know you guys in person. We could reach out. We could, share experiences. Just had this idea. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go eat. I love you all. Come to Brazil. God bless you all. Bye-bye.